everyone. Myself Rashmi Arora, Assistant Professor Pharmacology, Chameli Devi Institute of Pharmacy, welcomes you in this presentation. The topic of the presentation is hemodynamics of heart. Basically, it is the physics of blood flow in the circulation. As we all know that circulatory system consists of two major components. One is heart, a pumping unit, and others are blood vessels which transfer all the blood to the whole body parts. Heart comprises of two collecting chambers, left and right atrium, and has two pumping chambers as well, left and right ventricles. And blood vessels, they are of two categories. One are arteries which carries oxygenated blood except the pulmonary artery, and veins which carries deoxygenated blood except the pulmonary vein. The red and blue color signifies oxygenation and deoxygenation. This is the TS of heart, human heart. As you can easily make out the difference between the oxygenated part and the deoxygenated part. The top of the heart arc of aorta is there, which gets divided into three major sub arteries. One goes to the brain, one to the clavicle portion, and one goes down into the stomach and the renal portion. Next is the blue colored trunk of pulmonary artery. This is the only artery in the body which carries deoxygenated blood from the right side of the heart and take it to the lungs and then get oxygenated there. That transfer of carbon dioxide and oxygen takes place, and then the lungs makes this deoxygenated blood in oxygenated one and then pumped them into the left portion of the heart through pulmonary vein, which is the only vein in the body which carries oxygenated blood. And the left atrium, left ventricle, they are the pumping unit as well as the receiving chamber of the heart. As well as the right portion of the heart, it carries mainly the deoxygenated blood. The left portion of the heart is much more stronger. The muscles are thicker in nature there because they have to do a lot of work. They have to do important work of pumping and pumping to the pressure that so that the blood gets transferred into the whole body. The innermost portion of the innermost layer of the heart is endocardium, and after that myocardium, and the outermost is the pericardium, which is the protective covering of the heart, and these two chambers get separated by means of septum. The inferior vena cava, which receives the deoxygenated blood from the lower part of the body, and superior vena cava receives the blood from the upper part of the body, which is again the deoxygenated one, and then get drained into the right part of the heart, and from there pulmonary artery collected that whole deoxygenated blood. There are present valves also. We will see in the subsequent slides about these. First we will see the circulation system. Left side of heart, as we were talking, that atria and ventricle, they receive the oxygenated blood from the pulmonary vein. This red color signifies the oxygenation, and brown color signifies the deoxygenated part. The whole oxygenated blood, when enters into the atria through mitral valve, it gets entered into the ventricle, and ventricle there is present the aortic valve. When the ventricle gets contracted, the aortical valve due to the pressure gets open up and pumps the blood into the aorta, and from aorta and its three subdivisions, it gets distributed to all the tissues in the body, and there the change of oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place in the blood, and this whole blood gets deoxygenated, becomes deoxygenated, and superior and inferior vena cava, they collect the deoxygenated blood, drain it into the right side of the atrium, and from atrium it gets entered into the ventricular right side through tricuspid valve. Pressure driven valves are there, and from the ventricles of the right side, this deoxygenated blood gets pumped into the pulmonary artery via opening of pulmonary valve into the lungs, and this cycle hence goes on with the exchange of gases takes place. Now let us talk about the heart valves. There are two major heart valves, atrioventricular valves and semilunar valves. Atrioventricular valves, they separate the atria from the ventricle. These are bicuspid or mitral valve, which are present on the left side between the atrium and the ventricle, and tricuspid valve, they are present on the right side between the right atrium and the right ventricle. Then we see there is another type, that is semilunar valve, which separates the ventricles from the arteries. This is the transfer section of the valves. Pulmonary valve and aortic valve, they are the valves, and then mitral valve and tricuspid valve, AV type of valves, and an opening and closing of these valves depends upon the pressure and the difference between the blood in adjacent area. These two factors are important for opening and closing of the valves. Heart sounds. Lub and dub, there are two major type of sounds. First sound is usually lub, that is because of the closure of atrioventricular valve, and dub occurs because of the closure of semilunar valves, and it is caused by the turbulence on closing of valve. Because of the pressure and the amount of blood around the adjacent area, there occurs a turbulence, and this causes the occurrence of these two sounds, lub and dub. Anything except from lub and dub, if we hear, then it is called the murmur, that is swishing of blood, and it could be due to the stenosis of valves, means the calcification, deposition of calcium on the walls, and then if the valves are not closing properly, incompetency or insufficiency, or there is something pathological reason behind the improper functioning of valves, that also causes the murmur sound. And these two major pathology, they increases the pressure on heart and thereby causing the further deterioration of the heart conditions. Then is phonocardiography. Phonocardiography is basically the recording of these sounds. Heart sounds are the vibrations and the sounds. They are produced due to the pressure or the acceleration and deceleration of blood during the heart muscles contraction. And murmurs, we have already discussed that these are the type of sounds which are other than lub and dub sounds, basically because of the turbulence. And recording of these type of sounds is called the phonocardiography. Heart sounds, basically the oscillation of heart provides valuable information, and which gives the functional integrity of the heart, whether the heart is working properly or not, and this can be seen with the 3D image also, the condition of valves, and if the valves are not functioning properly, then there may be some kind of irregularity in the rhythm itself, and the contractility behavior of the heart gets disturbed. Now the first heart sound is generated at the terminal of the atrial contraction, just the onset of ventricular contraction. This sound is generally attributed to the movement of blood into the ventricles. The atrioventricular valves, they are closing and sudden cessation of blood flow in the atria. Actually, the splitting of first heart sound is defined as a asynchronous closure of tricuspid and the mitral valves. This gives us the information when actually the love sound is has been generated, and what are the basics behind the generation of these sounds. The second heart sound, which is a dub, it is a very low frequency vibration. It is associated with the closing of semilunar valves, the aortic and pulmonary valves, and this sound is coincident with the completion of T wave of the ECG. The third sound, that corresponds to sudden cessation of ventricular rapid filling. It is again a very low frequency, low amplitude, and is audible in children and some adults only. The fourth heart sounds occur when the atria contracts and propel the blood into the ventricles. This sound is again very low amplitude and low frequency, and basically it is not audible, but it can be recorded by phonocardiography. So that is why we consider only two major type of sounds which we can hear from the stethoscope itself. The sources of most murmurs, as we have already discussed, that they are developed by the turbulence in rapidly moving blood, and in children during early cystotic phase they are normally heard in nearly all adults after exercise. Abnormal murmurs may caused by stenosis and the insufficiencies or leakage in the valves. They are detected by noting the time of their occurrence in the cardiac cycle and their location at the time of measurement, because cardiac cycle has a significant and precise time phase, that is of 0.8 seconds. One cycle lasts for 0.8 seconds, and if there is variation in that time, then it can be the basis of detection of stenosis development in the valves. Then oscillations and stethoscopes. Heart sounds, they travel through the body from the heart and to the major blood vessels in the body surface, and these sounds can be heard easily with the help of stethoscope. Basic heart sounds, they occur mostly in the frequency range of 20 to 200 hertz, and certain heart murmurs, they produce sound in 1000 hertz region, and some frequency components exist down to 4 or 5 hertz. Some researchers even reported that the heart sounds and murmurs have small amplitude with frequencies as low as 0.1 hertz and as high as 2000 hertz, and that is why the third and fourth sounds, if they have very low amplitude and frequencies, they get mixed up, but they can be recorded through phonocardiography. These are different type of stethoscopes which were earlier used, and the modern mechanical stethoscope which is currently being used, you can see on your screens, and electronic stethoscope is also there which is used currently, and it's been almost 200 years that we are using the stethoscopes, but now the technology has changed, and there comes electronic stethoscopes as well. So many types of electronic stethoscopes have been proposed, and these devices have the selectable frequency responses, like ranging from the ideal flat response case and selected bandpass to typical mechanical stethoscope responses. However, doctors accepted the electronic do not generally accept the electronic stethoscopes, and maybe because they are unfamiliar with the sounds heard with them, because they catches very low frequencies itself, and due to unconditioned effects, they do not rely on the electronic stethoscopes as well, and because of their size, portability, and inconvenience, they prefer the mechanical ones which are more comfortable for them. Now let us discuss about the phonocardiography in a little detail. Phonocardiography is a mechano-electronic recording technique of heart sounds and murmurs, and it is valuable in that not only eliminates the subjective interpretation of the sounds but also makes possible evaluation of heart sounds and murmurs with respect to electrocardiogram and mechanical events in the cardiac cycle. It is also valuable in locating the sources of various heart sounds from where they are occurring. Apart from lub and dub, if we talk about the murmur sounds, they can easily be catch up by phonocardiography. Now the second important part of the circulatory system is blood vessel. They are arteries and veins basically, and then capillaries. The pathway of travel of blood from arteries to veins is like from left ventricle of heart to aorta to arteries, and then to arterioles, further smaller branches, and then arterioles transfer the blood into very small and tiny and thin vessels. These are called capillaries, and from capillaries to venules, smaller veins, thinner veins, to the veins, and then taken to the right atrium of heart. So if you see, uh, we start with the left ventricle of heart, and then when we enters into the arteries, first the blood and oxygenated blood enters into the major artery, and then to the smaller ones. But when we talk about the deoxygenated part, then smaller ones comes first, and then they drain the major portion into the larger ones. So there is a difference that oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood flow, it is opposite in case of arteries as compared to the veins. Now let us talk about little the blood. The composition of blood is approximately 45% of the solid components, which comprises of red blood cells, white cells, which are immune cells also, and then platelets, and rest of the portion of the blood, that is 55%, that is composed of the liquid, basically the plasma, in which again the 95% of plasma is water. The major portion is water, and 7% plasma proteins like albumin, etc., and 1.5% of other solutes. Now the functions of blood: it transports the gases, nutrients and waste. It maintains the balance, regulation of body temperature, pH, water content. It protects the body from foreign materials with the help of white blood cells. Viscosity of blood is basically 3 to 3.5 times more than water, and blood acts as a non-Newtonian fluid in smaller vessels, including the capillaries. Now the cardiac output. Flow of blood is usually measured in liters per minute, and the total amount of blood flowing through the circulation is called the cardiac output. Basically it is a output of the heart, how much of the blood it can pump out into the circulation, and that is equal to the stroke volume to heart rate. And basically the cardiac output is influenced by the blood pressure and the peripheral resistance. Blood pressure is basically the force of blood against the vessel walls, and it increases with water retention and decreases with dehydration and hemorrhage. And if we talk about the peripheral resistance, then it is depends upon the blood viscosity. If the blood is more viscous, there is less resistance. Turbulence is low because the blood flows in a slow manner. The vessel length also depicts the peripheral resistance, intensity, vessel elasticity as well, and vasoconstriction or vasodilatation effects. They also depict the peripheral resistance intensity. So overall we can say that the greater the pressure, greater blood flow. Greater the resistance, lesser the blood flow. So that's all for now. Stay tuned with us for another interesting topic in the coming presentations. Thank you so much.